Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Watchers live stream for November 6th, 2024. Hope you're all doing okay today. I know it's been a very turbulent week so far, but I hope you're all doing well out there. Of course, my name is Garrett.
And I'm Kevin.
And we are your lovely, gorgeous, fantastic hosts. Well, I can't say fantastic. That's up to you guys to decide. But hope you're all doing well so far. Horror and More Nadia, who has been on the stream with us for the last month, says, "Whoa, back in chat, I feel small." Well, it's okay. We love having you here, whether you're on the stream or in the chat. So welcome back in any capacity. We love having you here. Hope you're all doing well so far. Kevin, how has the last week been for you? I mean, we had Halloween right after our stream last time, so it's kind of been a lot happening over the course of the last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty good. I changed my role at my job too, so it's not a big role. It's nothing. I'm not doing urgent care, pretty much, is what it is. I'm just doing family med. Nice. So that's been interesting. A little bit different pace change, which is nice, though. And then I'm kind of actually doing okay in physics right now. So but the other one is my ethics and law class is absolutely atrocious. So that's the one I need to buckle down and just get over with.
Yep, totally get that. If I start my master's in January, the two classes I just want to get out of the way as soon as possible are the TV one and the digital media one, because it's I'm there for movies. So, but yeah, well, glad to hear that's been over the last week. I mean, we had Halloween last week. I think I was talking to someone. I think it's the first time I've been trick-or-treating in at least 17 years. So that was a lot of fun. And
it was fun.
Got to dress up. Got not as much candy as I was expecting, but still enough that it was a comfortable amount. That was the key.
I think next year, Nutty and I agreed we're gonna go to another place of it's Mo's house. Go over there because a lot of tight-knit families are over there. So it might be a little change of scenery.
Hey, you gotta change it up year to year. But as far as me of the last week, I'm not gonna lie, hasn't been that great. But I did finish the last part of my application assignments to apply to my master's, which is really awesome. And then I just watched some movies, and that's really about it. Did finish. Maybe I'll talk about it before. I don't know. But I did hit 31 horror movies in October. So I did one for every day of Spooky Month.
Very cool.
So this month I was I'm gonna do, because I was over at my parents' house and we were watching a movie that is going to be on my reviews later, and I had mentioned that I didn't see a key movie as a part of this documentary, and my mom was like, "How have you not seen that?" And so that inspired me for November to watch as many iconic or well-regarded or top tier movies or whatever that I haven't seen. Not best of all time, but the most widely regarded. So for example, the one that kicked it off was E.T., which I've never seen E.T., which I'm a huge Spielberg fan, but I've never seen it. So it was all right, well, I'll do some iconic stuff.
Oh, okay, very cool. Blockbuster hits, I would call them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not even blockbusters, some also letterbox kind of hits that aren't going to be on the top 250 kind of a thing,
just well-renowned
film. Yeah. Things like Gone Girl, or, I mean, even some Hayao Miyazaki stuff. And Kevin saw a squirrel.
No, I'm looking at my 100 movies ultimate bucket list poster. So Ben-Hur and stuff like that.
There you go. Nadia says the neighborhood we went to definitely buckled down this year. Last year we got a whole bag full.
Yeah.
Well, I also feel there's a lot of empty buckets around on people's porches, and people also were I feel like people also knew that we were adults, and so we're giving us. Like, I willingly just took like one piece, even if they were like take 2 or take 3. I'm taking one because leave it
Yeah.
for the kids.
Mhm.
But maybe they were giving us less on purpose for that. But rich neighborhoods are not as good as middle class as far as candy generosity. So
I believe that is absolutely true, because middle class usually have kids, like more than one kid, so they
Yeah.
like have to kind of do it.
Sure. I mean, the decorations only won't be the same, but maybe more. Yeah. But alrighty, well, let's go ahead and jump into the news this week. And up first is a pretty big one. You saw it in the title. We are officially getting a sequel to Godzilla -1 with the director and visual effects supervisor that won an Academy Award, Takashi Yamazaki, returning to direct, which is huge. This is one of the best movies of 2023. I would actually probably say it's in the top 5 for both of us. I mean, obviously, hopes are really high after this one. No, I don't think anyone was expecting -1 to be as good as it was. But now the hopes are high, and I hope they know that, and they appreciate that they have to continue with a good story. They did tease a couple things in the movie that will hopefully come to fruition in this new one. But pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. And still talking about the director, Godzilla -1 director Takashi I had it in my head, Yamazaki.
Yeah, there you go.
Has had meetings with Marvel. I don't know about what though.
They wanted to capitalize on the popularity of obviously Godzilla -1, which makes sense. But it sounds like when he just announced that he was going to be returning to direct the sequels to -1, that he had received an offer from Hollywood and turned it down to do the sequel. So who knows if it was a Marvel movie or if it was something else. I know that he's been in very close talks with Steven Spielberg. They were talking a lot during the awards circuit, especially at the Oscars. So who knows?
Good for him. I mean, he's just getting the recognition he deserves. So
yeah, and hopefully the second movie gets a bigger budget too, and he can prove that he can do the same with a slightly larger budget.
Yeah.
So up next, off of Godzilla -1, Michael Jackson biopic that's coming out has had its release date pushed back several months. Now releasing on October 3rd, 2025. It was originally supposed to release on April 18th of next year. I mean, sure. I mean, I've heard positive rumblings about it. That's about it. So, I mean, they're probably going to be pushing for an award season thing.
Yeah.
So
I believe so too.
But speaking of biopics,
yeah, something that's not going to happen. Hulk Hogan's biopic movie was canceled due to the contract issues, missed payments, is what they're saying.
Well, not what they're saying. That's what Hulk Hogan's saying.
That's he doesn't need. We don't need a movie about Hulk Hogan. I don't know who wants a biopic about him.
Yeah, well, there's supposed to be Chris Hemsworth in the role, which he was in the gym a while back for it. And he was getting freaking big. Yeah. So, I mean, would it have been a good movie? Probably not. But you know, it still would have been kind of fun to have like that classic wrestling era stuff.
Yeah, but I can see that.
Up next here, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and Sean Levy are coming back together for a new non-Marvel movie. Don't know any idea what this is yet, but obviously Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman loved working together on Deadpool and Wolverine. The rumor is that they're hosting the Oscars in March or whatever. Great. So, like, I hope they continue this because they're great together. They have really good chemistry, and Sean Levy's just a really good director.
I would love to see like a rom-com with them. That would be fantastic. I feel like.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I don't know what it is, but let's do it. It'll probably be some sort of comedy action movie similar to like Free Guy or Deadpool and Wolverine, but
yeah,
who knows? Could be anything if they're not beholden to like a studio.
Yeah, that's true. Next up, Under Paris is getting a sequel and it starts filming in September of 2025. Cool. I mean, you didn't like this movie.
Oh, this movie's awful.
Yeah, and it's a Netflix exclusive, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you like creature feature horror movies like Deep Blue Sea or, like just similar type movies, it is made with a little bit more of a budget than those kinds of movies typically are. And I mean, horror fans will probably enjoy it. I know a lot of people that do enjoy it, so you might, if you want to check it out. But it's definitely not that good. It's just refreshing that it's not made by an American studio. It's a French film with French actors, and it's in French, so it's very different. That movie just ends so badly, though.
like
I'm not
abruptly bad. Or
no, I won't spoil it. It's
okay.
It's you have to see it to believe it. Like,
okay.
You walk out of it like, what the actual hell? But anyhow, moving right along. The first reviews are here for the new Robert Zemeckis movie, and they're saying that it's not great. One of the big words coming out is meaningless.
So we have a friend, Eddie, and Haley went to go see this movie, and they absolutely loved it.
Cool.
On their Letterboxd, they loved it. And someone else on YouTube, I saw a little short and watched it, and he said he loved it as well. So I'm like, I don't know if it's just because they didn't get what was trying to happen here, or because you can't go wrong with Tom Hanks as being your main character or your main lead. He always does a decently good job. But no, I would say pretty good job. And to just set in one place the entire time, that's very unique. And maybe that's why people aren't liking it as much.
I think from what I've been reading, people are saying that it relies too much on that kind of part of it, and it's just not as engaging. At least that's what, from the critic point of view. It's got a 41 on Metacritic, which is like a mixed or average as far as they say. I mean, obviously all movies are subjective. People are going to like movies. People are going to not like movies. It's ultimately up to you. If the trailer looks good, go see it.
Yep.
But this is just the first kind of reviews that have come out from like major publication sources. But I'm sure some YouTubers and other friends of ours are going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, but next up,
production has started on the Black Phone 2, which is, I'm excited for it. I just can't wait to see where they go from the first one to the second one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, if it's going to be like same person, different area, or like maybe a different situation. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. No word yet on what the story is going to be. Obviously, we don't have any trailers yet, don't have anything. So, makes sense that we're not going to see anything for a while. But I just, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, all I can say is bring back the sister from the first one, because she was like the best part of that movie. She was hysterical. Alrighty, next up, and then we'll take a quick break. Atomic Blonde 2 has received a negative update from the director. It does not sound like a sequel is going to be happening for this movie. I don't think anyone was really asking for a sequel to this movie. Not that it's a bad movie, I just don't think it got enough buzz or enough people really enjoying it. But I mean, it's not a terrible movie by any means. It's probably one of the better of like the John Wick clones. But
yeah, I mean, I don't even think I've seen the first one, and knowing that there might be a second one, I'm like, okay, but I'm not like excited to see the first one, or no one is talking about the first one like John Wick and stuff like that.
I mean, there are definitely things that people remember about the movie, but like, it's not like something that has remained in the zeitgeist. I think if you put out a movie like 10 years later, no one's gonna care. No. So I just don't think it's a very smart move. But let's go ahead and take a break, because we got quite a few comments here. Boom. But will it be called Godzilla -2?
Or would it be Godzilla 0? Because if you add one movie, it's 0.
Yeah, no idea yet. That'd be funny if it was -2.
That wouldn't
make sense, because the whole point is that it set Japan back even further. But we don't know. We'll see. Hulk Hogan spent all his money on rippable tank tops. Yep. Seeing a lot of people say here is their favorite movie of the year, or their movie of the year.
See,
interesting.
That's very mixed.
Getting very mixed reactions all around. So, actually, what does it have on Letterboxd right now? Let's see. It apparently has a 3 out of 5. It's like right in the middle.
Right in the middle. Mm-hmm.
So I have no idea what people are thinking about this movie. Anyhow, hello everyone. Hello, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hope you're having a fantastic week so far.
Mm-hmm.
Black Phone was so good. It was really
It was
a properly good Blumhouse movie.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of my favorites that they've done.
Yeah, I believe so.
If I'm speaking completely openly and honestly. But let's go ahead and continue right along with a piece of news that I'm kind of excited about, and I know you will be too.
Yeah, a new movie is coming that sets in the universe of Cronenberg's The Fly, which is, I wonder how they're going to do this, though, because The Fly had so many good practical effects.
It depends on who's directing it.
Yeah, and I would hate to see more CGI than practical.
Yeah.
Just to keep that kind of that lineage that The Fly has had in the past of how good it looks because of how they did it.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they say it's set in the universe of. It's not a sequel. It's not like a continuation of the story or a redo. It's just set in that universe. So it could be something completely different.
Yeah.
But still be body horror or whatever. But very excited to see something come from this because The Fly is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Up next, the first Paddington in Peru reviews are here, and they're saying that it is a step down from the first two, but it still has a pretty respectable, I believe Rotten Tomatoes had it at a 94. And I don't think there's anything on Metacritic yet. Let me go ahead and double check here.
Well, we have to wait for Adrian's review about this one. And
That's
then
true.
We'll know exactly what it is.
It has a 59 on Metacritic so far, so we'll have to wait and see what the kind of general consensus is from audiences as well. Okay. But still excited for it. It's another Paddington movie. I'm not expecting anything to be at the height of Paddington 2, but seriously, we got to get Kevin to watch that. If Kevin rolls my choice today, I'm going to make him watch Paddington.
Okay.
But next up here, Kevin.
Next up, Tom Cruise is eyeing a sequel to Days of Thunder. I have not personally watched this movie yet. I know it's about NASCAR, but we don't get a lot of NASCAR movies because I think it's going to be maybe too boring.
That's one issue. The other issue is that the Days of Thunder is literally just a ripoff of Top Gun by the same director, producer, and star. So it's I don't know. I don't get it. Why? Unless it went to like an F1 or like an IndyCar situation and not NASCAR. I have no idea. But
yeah,
who knows? Let's see here. Up next, I could have seen this coming a mile away. The first Red One reviews are coming in, and they're calling it ineffective and a franchise non-starter.
Does that mean it's not going to get like sequels?
Like it's going to be like it's sequel baits, but it's not going to get anything because it's not going to do well.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure families are going to go see it.
Mm-hmm.
It might get more positive, fan reception, but yeah. I don't know. That trailer looks really bad.
I could have told you this for the first time I even heard this was coming out. So,
but Kevin got a pretty fun one here.
Yeah, I do. Robert Englund and Richard Brake join the cast of Pinocchio Unstrung, the next Pooniverse film, and I think I saw what Pinocchio is going to look like too. Have you been surfacing? Yeah, stuff has been surfacing about that, and he looks absolutely terrifying. I feel like.
Yeah, completely. It's either completely practical or it's going to be stop motion, which I think is a brilliant decision.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing CG or makeup, like just do it as a stop motion, makes it look even creepier, which I'm totally down for. But obviously, Robert Englund is Freddy Krueger.
Yep.
So obviously him joining a horror movie is nice, but he's going to be playing Geppetto. So
I can see him as Geppetto, actually.
Yeah. And then Richard Brake is just a fantastic, creepy actor. So totally down to see him in anything as well. Next up here, though, changing genres, a Game of Thrones movie is now in development at Warner Brothers. And my first response is the same response that everyone had, which is why?
Why? Yeah. Just to leave Starbucks cups on the ground again. Make some more mistakes.
An entire third act that's so dark you can't see anything that's going on. No, if it's an original story, sure, go for it. If they're gonna remake the first season of Game of Thrones or something, or no, there's no reason to. You already have from what most people think, aside from its last season, it's already one of the best shows of all time for many people. So why, I don't know why you would ruin that. I think it'll probably be an original story.
Yeah,
or a story that's not the books.
Yeah, or not in the books, but its own little story. But you don't want to mess up because the first 3 seasons are really good. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. But I know Nadia has watched the first season or 2, and she was hooked on it. So
yeah, no, I definitely got hooked on it too, because I watched all 7 seasons in the 3 weeks right before season 8 came out.
Oh,
because I wanted to watch it with all my coworkers at the time, so we could all talk about it when we went to work the next day. But yeah, it's a great show. Hopefully it's not the same story redone.
Yeah,
but
true.
Next up,
Ridley Scott is developing a new Alien movie separate from Romulus' sequel. Wants to work with the showrunner from Andor. Cool. I don't mind another Alien movie. So,
I know a lot of people have issues with Ridley Scott's later Alien films. I think they're fantastic. So I am all for a new Alien movie, especially if it's going to be Paradise, the sequel to Covenant. Would love that. But I'm glad that the franchise is getting this new vigor into it, because Romulus is legitimately one of the best movies of the year. And I think that's reinvigorated fans on the IP. We're getting the Alien Earth show next year. So I'm all here for it.
Yeah, let's go. I want more Alien stuff.
And Andor is probably, I'm gonna say it's probably the best Disney Plus show they've done. And I'm not talking just Star Wars show or no, they're the best Disney Plus show you can watch is Andor, in my opinion.
Interesting.
And so because that director or that showrunner knew how to take a story that had all these fantastical elements and then make it more grounded and relatable, but also have high stakes. There was no Jedi in it. He knows what he's doing. Tony Gilroy is a great choice if they'd end up going with him for something. Same with Noah Hawley, who's doing Alien Earth. So very excited for it.
Very interesting.
This one, 3 new Lego movies are in development at Universal, and Patty Jenkins is set to direct one of them. Now, which is very interesting, because I thought Lego movies were owned by Warner Brothers, which I guess not anymore. But here's the problem. Lego movie, fantastic. It's legitimately a really good film.
Yep.
Lego Batman, one of the best Batman movies. Legitimately a great film. Lego Ninjago, you kind of have to be a fan of it. I haven't seen the film, so I can't really say anything about it, but the reaction was definitely more tempered than the other 2. However, these 3 are going to be live action
Lego movies,
like Minecraft kind of live action.
Oh,
sounds
God.
like. So I'm already not excited about these at all. They're not even they're in the process of being written. I hope they see the negative backlash this is getting and push that into a direction okay, maybe we should
do a Sonic.
If it's a live action movie, an actual movie about maybe a parent reconnecting with their child through Lego, and it's a live action movie, but then there's also animation in it to kind of represent them and how they reconnect. That's fantastic. Go that route. That's fine. But if it's just we're transported into the realm of Lego, I'm literally going to be angry and throw my monitor out the window. It's so stupid. But anyhow, we'll see. Patty Jenkins is a good director. She did Wonder Woman. Unfortunately, she did Wonder Woman 1984, which I don't really credit her completely with that. I think the writing and the concept was flawed. But she is a good director. So, excited to see what she can do.
All right, I'll let Garrett simmer down with the next one. Happy Death Day 3 teased by director Christopher Landon. It's not in my hands. Okay. He hasn't touched it. So,
well, I mean, basically what that means, like, it's not his decision. It's going to be. He said that it's up to Blumhouse and Jason Blum, and I think James Wan was one of the producers on it. It's kind of up to them to kind of write the checks and get the production rolling, which it sounds like it's just stalled at the moment. I know the movies are like widely enjoyed. It seems like whether or not like most people, like them. I don't know Nadia's opinion on them, but I know like the majority of people did enjoy them, and so I don't think people would be upset if there was a third one.
But yeah, they've already made 2 of them though too.
Yeah, it's like how much more are you going to get out of the same story? I'd rather see that director move on to something else and kind of push the envelope in some way. But and then last up today, John Krasinski, who is of course the director of A Quiet Place, star of The Office, will be leading a new Jack Ryan movie, the Tom Clancy character. Obviously, he was in the Jack Ryan TV show for 3 seasons, 2 or 3 seasons, and it was very well regarded. And they're going to be doing a new movie that will probably be one of the book adaptations, and will bring him in. So I all for it. Apparently, he's a good Jack Ryan.
Didn't Tom Cruise do Jack Ryan? Or am I thinking of...
You're thinking Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, yep.
Yeah, Jack Ryan is a Tom Clancy character. So
okay.
Very interested to see what they can do with that.
Yeah.
But that's it for the news topics this week. Let's go ahead and get into some of these. Nadia says it'll be called the Mosquito. The upcoming.
The Fly.
That would actually be horrifying. Someone turning into a mosquito. Ooh boy. And Wells can't watch The Fly. The first movie with Jeff makes me physically sick.
Yeah,
I get that.
That's body horror to an extent.
Yeah. I'm from Alabama. We love racing. Absolutely no to the Days of Thunder sequel. The movie needs to not be a franchise. I totally get that.
Cars did it the best. Cars did it the best. Leave it like that.
Good friend Joey. Hope you're having a great night, Joey. Robert Englund's attached. I'm intrigued, but still worried. I mean, as long as they listen to critique, they can improve, maybe.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact that they're going to be really focusing on practical effects, that gives me some hope.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
So Scott and Fox is doing another Alien film that's separate from Romulus 2. Yes. Well, they're developing one. Doesn't mean that one will actually see the light of day, or that one will even come out. But they are wanting to do another one, which it all takes place in the same universe. So, I'm a huge Alien fan, so I'll take it all day long. Ridley needs to retire. He is one of the best visual directors, but his movies are so hit or miss. 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think he needs to retire. I just think he needs to slow down.
He just needs to pump out a couple of movies.
Do a movie every other year.
Yeah, or like even 1 in 3 years, something like that. I
mean, just saying that he's developing the movie doesn't mean that he'll direct it. He could just be a creative force behind it. So there is also that as well. Nadia, I'm not a fan of movies that loop in time, so I've only had interest to see Death Day 1. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Alrighty, let's go ahead and move right along to the trailers that came out this week. Yep. Not a lot of big trailers this week.
Except for one of them.
Well, actually, one is really the big one, and then another one that's kind of bigger. But Kevin, what stood out to you? I mean, it's gonna be the same one as me, so
it's gonna be Presence. It just looks. The marketing's just doing really good on it. Not really telling you what the hell it's about, and the trailers have been fantastic as well. Yeah,
it definitely looks like it's going to be a scary, emotional movie. So definitely here for it. I would also say Heart Eyes looks a little intriguing as well. It's a new slasher movie, so hopefully it can at least channel some of what makes older slasher movies great. So it definitely feels like it has some 80s vibes to it, which definitely here for. I was kind of excited to see the trailer for Waltzing for Brando, which is a movie about Marlon Brando. But it doesn't look that good, unfortunately. So But that'll be it for the trailers. But Kevin, let's go ahead and talk about the box office from last week.
Box office, and we still have Venom: The Last Dance up on top with 25.9 million. Wild Robot's still hanging in there. It's been like in theaters for like 2 months, I feel like, at 7.4 million. Smile 2 still up there as well for us if you still want your spooky season horror. It's 6.8 million. Conclave is 5 million, and Here with 4.9 million, just barely squeaking in that top 5.
Yeah, interesting to see the Wild Robot climb from third to second place. It's doing the same thing a lot of animated movies are doing this year. It's hanging in because I think that just it's just a good movie to take your kids to if you have them.
Yep.
Smile 2 also hanging in. Conclave sticking in fourth place, which makes sense. It's a movie for a generally older audience, and so they're gonna want to go see it. And I mean, Venom: Last Dance is probably the biggest, blockbuster type movie that's out right now.
Yep.
So. But that's it for the box office here. Let's see here. All right. Let's go ahead and talk about the movies that come out this weekend, including one that I'm very excited for. Up first is Heretic. 2 young religious women are drawn into a game of cat and mouse in the house of a strange man. Very, very excited for this movie. Obviously, it's an A24 movie. I'm an A24 slut, so keep them coming. I could have
was not expecting that.
There you go. No one ever does. Up after that is The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. Nobody is ready for the mayhem and surprises that ensue when 6 of the worst youngsters disrupt the town's yearly Christmas performance. If this appeals to you, go and see it.
Terrifier 3 vibes right there. Just if you know, you know.
We're the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I just picked up what you said.
Yep.
Up third is Weekend in Taipei. A former DEA agent and a former undercover operative revisit their romance during a fateful weekend in Taipei, unaware of the dangerous consequences of their past. This looks like it'll be somewhat interesting, but it'll probably end up being mediocre. The kind of consensus right now is pretty mediocre, so we'll see. It's probably just going to be one of those kind of take it or leave it action movies, but it does have Luke Evans in it, so I haven't seen him in a lot. Also, Sung Kang from the Fast and Furious movies. So.
Oh, gotcha.
And lastly, something I didn't know was coming, and I'm going to probably go see, is Overlord: The Sacred Kingdom. Momonga, now known as the Sorcerer King Ainz Gon, rallies the Sorcerer Kingdom and its undead army to join the fight alongside the Sacred Kingdom and the Slain Theocracy in hopes to defeat the Demon Emperor Yaldabaoth. This is a movie continuation of the Overlord anime. So if you're a fan of that anime, like me, you're probably interested in this, and it looks like it'll be in place of a new season, which I'm totally okay with. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, so I'm all ready for it.
Ooh, that's a long one.
Especially, I feel like for an anime movie, that's pretty long. So I am all here for it.
Especially like a TV anime.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because I know like Blue Lock had a movie that just came out, but it was only like an hour and 30 minutes. And I know that Demon Slayer is going to have a movie, but I think that one's going to be like 2 hours. So
sure. I'm actually curious. I want to see if it's playing in our local theater.
I thought I saw it on there.
I don't see it. Not on our local theater. It might be playing at another theater nearby, but we'll see. But those are the movies that are coming out this weekend. If you have any interest, go and check them out. There is also an Attack on Titan movie coming out this weekend. They're combining both 2-part episodes into a 2-hour film with some fixes to the animation. Oh, cool. I didn't see that on the list, but that's cool to know. I believe it's the final 2 episodes of the series, if I'm imagining so. Yeah. Which I need to finish that show. Like everyone says it's so good. But.
See, I need to finish it as well. I watched like the first 2 and really got into it, but I was like, no, I'm okay.
Still one of the best intros to any TV show.
Yeah.
Which is funny. I don't know if you were watching the World Series. My roommates were watching the World Series, and the first game at Dodger Stadium, the organ player played the Attack on Titan theme.
Great.
So like they're just like, I don't know if it wasn't during Shohei Ohtani's like when he was at bat, but like, you're just sitting there watching baseball, and then all of a sudden it's like da 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 da, and you're like, what? But it makes sense. I mean, the Dodgers are really leaning into their Japanese fan base. So, I mean, we saw that with their HoloLive collab earlier. Now we're not even talking about movies, so that's fun.
Nope.
But anyhow, that is going to be it for all of our kind of scheduled or written parts of the stream. So let's go ahead, and you know what time it is. We got to change up that music.
You got a written script? I only got a typed out one.
Same thing. I don't know. I thought I had a smarter answer for that. But this week, Kevin and I are actually tied in how many movies we watched. I watched less than normal, and I feel like, Kevin, you watched more than normal. So
yeah,
let's go ahead. So. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start?
I'll start after I
All right.
drink my
so
water.
your first one.
Yeah, Inside Out 2. I forgot this was actually streaming, and then I went on Disney Plus and saw that it was. So while I was doing some homework, I was watching it on the other screen. Really good sequel to the first one. I think I do prefer the first one a little bit better, but I do like the new emotions, but not taking a lot away from the old emotions. It's very separate and very timed well, getting to know each side of the emotions, which is really nice. But I think you talked about it in your review, how there's an anxiety attack that happens, and yeah, that's exactly what it feels like to have an anxiety attack, and it was spot on. And I did like how the story with Riley doesn't bounce back and forth. I thought they would do like a couple of days and stuff like that, or like months with, this is anxiety, we're just gonna greet them in and then something bad happens. No, it's just like, okay, anxiety is here, you're out. Like we're getting new emotions. So, and I liked how it wasn't it was about it was 3 days that everything happened in, and it was very consistent. There was no lag in the story or fill space. So I give it a 90 out of 100. Really enjoyed it. Really good sequel.
Yeah, really good movie. I mean, it'll probably win the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature this year. I don't think it deserves it, but it will. It probably does. No, Wild Robot I think is better, but Inside Out 2 is very good though. Up first for me is The Ghoul, which is my second to last movie as a part of my 31 for Spooky Month. This is really interesting. I didn't know this movie existed, and I'm kind of not that happy that I watched it. It's got Boris Karloff though. Boris Karloff obviously playing the Mummy. And after doing The Mummy, he had a contract negotiation issue with Universal, and so left Universal for a while and went back to England and did this movie, which is a shameless ripoff of The Mummy. It is really just a cardboard copy of a movie that's not that good, in my opinion. Like, The Mummy still is a decent movie compared to the other monster movies, it's probably less good than most of them, but in any case, like this feels soulless because it just kind of feels like a carbon copy. It still has some good tone and some good atmosphere, and Boris Karloff is fantastic as always, but there's not enough of him. And he's definitely a reduced role in this. In The Mummy, he's there a lot because there's like a 2 roles he plays kind of. But this one, it's just not. This movie is an hour and 20 minutes, and he doesn't show up he's in the first 10 minutes, and then doesn't show up again until 50 minutes in. Which is just, it's not that good of a movie. It's again, it's a background of Halloween type movie, but that's about it.
Okay. Gotcha.
Get you onto your second one here.
Yeah, Clueless. I did not know. I knew about this movie. Nadia put it on the TV and we just decided to watch it. This movie's hilarious. This movie is so funny. The dad has great one-liners in this. If you like one-liner comedy, romance comedies, the dad is perfect in this movie. I did like the cast in this movie. Everybody plays their part to be like the rich dumb one who just wants to make everybody happy, but then when it turns on her, she's not happy. And then the comments in this letterbox is the greatest thing in the world. I don't know, have you seen?
I haven't, but I know a lot of people, like when Letterboxd does their top 4, like what are your 4 favorites video series, a lot of people say Clueless. So I know a lot of people like it.
No, it's like, so Paul Rudd is her ex stepdad's son, and then they become a thing. So people are like, I still don't know if this is incest or not, because that's what it is. Because at the same time, I'm like, wait, they're dating, but they used to be siblings.
If it's a step parent that is no longer related to you, then no. But I get the joke. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just thought it was so funny. Again, this movie is hilarious. Just little things that happen in this movie. I want everybody to watch it just because of how much fun I had watching it. So it's 78 out of 100. Fantastic.
All right. Up next for me is the last movie I watched as a part of my Halloween spooky month, 31 for 31, which is The Blair Witch Project. And I gotta admit, I was very disappointed when watching this movie. I do need to give it some respect. It is the movie that started the found footage craze, which is that's a historic moment in the genre. I totally understand that, and I appreciate that. I do think that the movie has some good ambiance and tone as well. It does legitimately, when it's in its creepier moments, it feels creepier and it feels more realistic in some ways. But the characters are super annoying. You don't care about any of them. I found myself rooting for the witch here, which I usually do in any movie. But you're also giving the cameras to actors who don't know how to shoot, and it's just I felt myself. I don't get motion sick, but this movie got me close at some points. It's definitely worse than a movie like Cloverfield or anything like that. It's really kind of meh. It kind of bugs me that one of my idols is Roger Ebert, and he loved this movie, which I'm like, how could you love this, my man? But it's okay. All film is subjective. You have your own opinion, but I was just very disappointed by this. Didn't really do anything for me.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't think I enjoyed it either when I first watched it. So
there you go. And your last movie.
Yeah, another 90s hilarious comedy, but is better. Mrs. Doubtfire. Absolutely love this movie. I watched it for the second time. Year or two spanned, something like that. But Robin Williams in this movie is absolutely the best because it looks like he's having fun with his character, and that's what makes him the best comedian on the screen. I feel like sometimes when he gets to play just himself and he gets to dress up as another person and use his voices that he is so known for, and I absolutely love it. So many quotable lines in this movie. I give it a 94 out of 100. If you want a funny comedy from the 90s, just watch this one. It's so good.
Well, there you go. Alrighty, and my last movie this week, outside the wheel picks, was Music by John Williams. This is a movie I talked about a little bit earlier. I really enjoyed this movie, but I have to admit I'm very biased because I love John Williams. No joke, John Williams is the greatest living film composer that there is, and he may be the best film composer ever. I really don't think you could argue against that. Personally, I consider him on the same level as Beethoven and Mozart and Bach. I think he will be up there with them in the future someday. But this is, of course, a documentary about his career and his life as well. A lot of stuff that I did not know about the man, including his family history and things that happened with his wife and his kids. This does tell us some behind-the-scenes stories from some of his biggest films like Star Wars and Jaws and E.T., Harry Potter, and a lot more of his most renowned work. It's really kind of fun to see a lot of bigwigs in the film industry, and also some music industry people as well just geek out on this guy, and you're like, they get it, and it's really nice to see. I mean, I wish that it would have covered a little bit more of his life outside of Hollywood, maybe a little bit more kind of between the 90s and 2000s, because they really focus on the 60s through the 80s. So I really think it would have been nice to get more modern stuff. But it is a fantastic documentary, though. It's probably one of the better documentaries of the year. So it'll probably show up in the award season video that we do for real watchers. But like, if you like movies at all, you know, like you've probably heard his music. It's a very good documentary. I would highly recommend this to anyone who is at all interested in watching movies, because he's probably one of the most important people in film of the last 50 years that I can think of. So
Awesome.
But that is it for our recreational viewings. We have some comments here, so let's go ahead and get in here. It was incensed. That was giving. Wow. All right. Well, there you go. The Blair Witch Project was a New Line Cinema thing. Yep. They're one of the people that made it. Mrs. Doubtfire is a goat film. One of my favorite comments.
Yeah. Really good. You've seen Mrs. Doubtfire, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie.
Good.
Yeah. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and dive into the wheel spin movies that we got last week. Let's start with the shorts. So Kevin, your short was
Bye Bye Bluebeard. I thought it was Bluebird, but you had it correct. It's Bluebeard. And this short was good. It was nice to see what's the pig's name? I'm blanking on his name right now, from Warner Brothers. Porky getting his own little short here. He's really funny. I love his voice actor. Really hilarious there. The situation he gets himself into is awesome. It is funny as well. Animation was on point. A lot of Porky jumping out of his skin in different ways, which was really cool to see. So that's why I gave it an 80 out of 100.
All right. My short, and probably the lowest score I've given to a short in a while, is Little School Mouse. This is a Tom and Jerry short. It's my second Tom and Jerry review that I've done, and it also features Tom in a more positive light. I guess I misremember a lot of these shorts. I feel like this short is a little unpredictable in the way that its supporting character does things. But it just feels really light on any kind of gags, and it just doesn't really feel like too much of a Tom and Jerry short to me. It's missing a lot of what makes the Tom and Jerry shorts Tom and Jerry shorts. So I did have to give it a low score. I didn't enjoy it as much, but it's all right. Can't enjoy all of them.
Nope. Exactly.
But your first movie this week, Kevin.
Yeah, Oculus. I gave it a 64 out of 100. It has so much potential to be a better movie than it is. The thing that I did not like, or was kind of confused on why they did this, was they're telling the story but also showing the story at the same exact time. They're telling a different story. So you're going to the past and then you're going to the present. But they could have just explained it and gave you a little bit more scares while that was happening. I understand the scares are actually more in the past than they are in the present. But it was just, it could have been done a little bit better. I feel like there are some times that the scares do get you, but it's not like scary jump scares. It's more like, ooh, that's kind of disturbing of a scare. So I wish it would be very cool to see if like Blumhouse does a remake of this movie, because I think they can kind of get you a little bit more jump scary in that aspect, because they're like the kings of that. But that's why I gave it such a low score for them.
I mean, he's saying low score, but 64 is still like, in the grand scheme of things, not a terrible score. All right, first movie for me. So this is Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings from 2011. I did not enjoy this movie, but I have to admit, I was watching this at the same time as flipping between this and last night's news coverage, and so that was an experience that I'll never forget. But my biggest problem with this movie is that it is super boring. Like, it takes forever to get started. The entire thing feels like it was filmed at a haunted house event. Like, especially the whole intro. Like, it just doesn't feel like it was made on a super, like, like you can make a great movie with no money, but this feels like they wasted any money they had and just like shot on whatever they had left over. Like I was hoping that there was going to be any character worth rooting for. There just isn't. This like I don't care about a single character in this movie. What happens to them? They're all dead. Even the villains, don't care about them. There's just nothing that gives them any personality whatsoever. Absolutely just hated it. Also, this movie's ending is one of the worst endings I've ever seen in any movie. It does get some points for some gory kills. I will say that the actual like the kitchen scene where they're carving up a guy while he's still alive, that did make me cringe a little bit. Not like bad cringe, but like you know, like. So I give it props for that. It's also has some really good practical effects too. The makeup and a lot of the blood effects. When the blood is not CG, it looks good, but it relies a little too much on that CG blood, and it just looks really cheap. Also, like I'm not one to complain about this usually, but why is there so much sex in this movie? like I get you're trying to get teenage butts and seats, but this didn't even release in theaters. I don't think so. Like why are you trying? I don't know. I didn't enjoy this movie. I would rather watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey again, both of them, because at least those feel like they have some sort of novelty to them. This, honestly, this just feels like a horror movie that characters in a horror movie would be watching on their TV. Like, like when people are playing a very fake video game in a TV show, and they're like, "That's not Call of Duty." It's just what it feels like. It's so by the numbers. It's so formulaic. I just did not enjoy any of it. To be fair, it could have been my enjoyment could have been tempered by the events of last night. Who knows? But it was I just did not enjoy it. So
gotcha. Okay.
Sorry, I went into it like with no expectations. So I will say that. Like I was like, I'm ready to be turned on to this franchise. What's it going to do? And then I'll probably still check out the first one because I've heard good things. But I don't know.
Gotcha. Well, my last one for the wheel was I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. It's a good sequel. I feel like it's just it doesn't hit like I Know What You Did Last Summer did. It doesn't have Freddie Prinze Jr. in it as much as I want him to be in it because he was one of the main stars in the first movie. And then them being on a not deserted island, but like a tropical island, and then one of the people, you absolutely know what's going to happen to them as soon as you get introduced to them. Pretty much it was like, oh, he's going to do this pretty much. And there was some twists that I did not see coming with the villain in this movie, but the big one that I did see coming kind of hindered my hindered my score a little bit, just because it was very formulaic. So I give it a 64 out of 100, but man, is Jack Black funny in this one, and that's what bumps it up a little bit because he's so good.
All right. And then my last movie this week was Final Destination 2, which I have seen the first one, and I would say that I enjoyed this movie a little bit more than the first one. I'll go ahead and start with the positives for that, because I think the accident scene in this movie is incredible. And it is legitimately pretty horrifying. But the effort and the practical effort that went into doing a lot of the deaths in this movie was great. A lot more of it is more practical than you'd think, which is really cool. However, it still has the same issues as the first one. I just do not care about anyone in this movie. Like the storyline, like deaths, conveniences, like the one. Okay, I will spoil this if you haven't seen the movie. There's a character who literally dies because he slips on spaghetti that he threw out of a window and falls, and then a ladder crushes his head. It's laughably bad, but that also is what makes it a little bit more enjoyable. Like, I'm not saying I did not like this movie. There's definitely a lot of negative parts to it, but there's enough positive that I do enjoy it. It's kind of like a guilty pleasure thing, like the first one is. Like, literally rinse and repeat. Like, I think I have the same, it's almost word for word the same review as the first one. Wasn't too much of improvement. It gets a little bit higher marks because I watched some behind the scenes stuff for how they did a lot of the deaths. And that gave me some good times.
Nice.
So. But that is it for the movies that we watched this week. So, go ahead and get into the comments here. We'll take a 64 out of 100.
That's probably for Oculus.
Well, both of them you gave 64.
Oh, that's true.
So could be either one,
Mhm.
but it's probably I think it was
Mhm.
Oculus because I think that was a Matt Walls movie.
Mhm.
Gilbert, the fuck is that score? Just kidding. It's fine. You don't watch the Wrong Turn movies for the characters. You watch it for mutant, deformed hillbillies killing. Yeah, but I mean, just because a movie has good kills in it doesn't mean that it's a good movie. Like it still has other criteria that it needs to meet, in my opinion. Like there are things that a movie has to do, and it just doesn't do any of them. So, I mean, yeah. Again, it also could have just been that night. Last night was a roller coaster, and that's putting it lightly. But let's go ahead and get to our favorite part of the show, Kevin. Are you
The
ready?
wheel
Of
movies.
that could have been a lot better.
I know.
Let's go ahead.
That's
and
what she said.
Bring it up on the screen. Alrighty, so it is time. Go ahead and get in those suggestions. We'll add them to the wheel. We're already at 256 movies. So, I get it if you don't have any more. But let's go ahead and see what you guys got so we can add to this list. And then we'll go ahead and roll. And while people are coming up with the movies, Kevin, that they're going to be putting on the list, what are you hoping for this week?
Ooh.
I mean, we're out of spooky season, but horror movies are still great. So
Yeah, they are. They are. I don't know. I don't know what I'm feeling actually, because we do have to watch another movie that is more fantasy-like for our what's it called?
Well, that's a spoiler. Well, not really.
No, it's not.
There's a lot of fantasy movies.
Yeah.
It's
so,
not the one you're thinking.
No, it's not. Maybe it is though. You'll never know. I don't know. I'm feeling just a good movie.
Alrighty. Okay. Why did I clicked on that? It's fun. Terror Vision from the 80s. Let me go ahead. I'm going to look it up just to make sure here that I have the right movie. Terror Vision from 1986. Okay, so that's one word. Not Terror B Vision, Terror Vision. Okay, and then Frozen from 2010. That's the one where they're on the ski lift, I think.
These are probably going to be both for you because I have them logged.
Terror Vision and Frozen.
I'm going to check Frozen right now, but Terror Vision I gave 4.5 stars.
Okay. And then
yes, I logged Frozen as well.
Okay, they're all for me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for the suggestions. Nadia, does anyone else have anything you'd like to see added onto the wheel? And then we will go ahead and spin that wheel and see what Kevin and I are watching over the course of the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a little bit here. Basketball. I believe I remember that movie. I think it's the South Park guys. I believe that's their movie.
Yeah.
And then Good Night and Good Luck. That's one we've been wanting to watch for a while. All right. Anything else, anyone? We'll go ahead and give it one more minute, and then we'll start spinning, so we don't have to keep you here forever. Add a 3 to the... Oh, yes. My bad. I did not add a 3 to Final Destination 3. I think that's the roller coaster one, right?
Yeah.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and they got the roller coaster. Because then the fourth one is the 3D one at the racetrack, and then I think the fifth one. Okay, Nadia says yes.
Yes.
And the fifth one is like the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we'll see what they do for the new one because we got one coming next year.
Yeah, it's gonna be in space.
Final Destination in space.
Catchline: no one can hear you die.
No one can hear. All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and spin the wheel. You want to go? I'll go first this time. I feel like you went first last time.
Okay,
let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what I want.
Ooh, the crow sounds pretty good. I'm looking at the little things.
Oh, okay. Food.
Oh God! Oh, I'm so glad I did not get that one.
That's the really horribly animated one. So that's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, and let's go ahead and spin it up and get Kevin's.
Let's go.
So I will be watching Food Fight, which I think I'm probably going to have to rent. Burn is what Kevin is going to be watching. Burn is... Oh, that's the one that I believe Nadia put in from 2019.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What's his name? I forget his name. Oh my
Hutcherson.
gosh. Yeah, Josh Hutcherson.
Okay.
Alrighty. Kevin's notes. All right, let's go ahead, remove that off the list. And Nadia's celebrating down there. Go ahead and spin it for my second one. All right, and it's a short.
Hey, look at that.
I think this is one I already did, though.
I think so as well. You want me to look?
Yes, I already did this one.
No.
So
get it off the list.
I'll remove it off the list. My bad. I forgot to remove it.
No short.
I'll go ahead and spin. I was excited because I was like, I always want to get a short first or second, so it's like more suspense for what the movie's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But this looks like it's going to be a movie, and it is. Well, nope.
Not for you.
Right. Try it
Not
again. Yeah, I've seen both versions now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please. Oh, it's Kevin's pick for Garrett.
Oh, okay.
There's one you said earlier that you were like, I always recommend this to everyone, so I don't know if you want to do that one.
Wait, what is it?
Clueless.
Nah.
Okay.
You're going to watch. Oh, I gotta mark that off of my thing.
He's taking his time, ladies and gentlemen.
You're gonna watch My Fair Lady.
My Fair Lady. That the one from 1964?
Sure, it's on my poster.
Okay.
Is it by
George Cukor?
Now I can't find it.
Does it have a year or anything on there?
No, it has the name. Hold on.
Should be George Cukor. I know we're delivering such exciting content for everyone.
I know. This is amazing.
I'm guessing it's this one.
Yeah, George Cukor. Yep.
Okay. Well, it's an almost 3-hour movie I get to watch.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's actually one that's been on my list for a while. So, all right. So I'll be watching My Fair Lady as well. And let's go ahead and
spin for me.
Spin for Kevin. Oh, I removed your thing there. Uh-oh. I didn't mean to do that. All right.
You're going to watch 2 3-hour movies this week.
Oh, well, yeah, it's fine. I don't care about movie length. Alrighty, and Kevin's getting a short.
Yeah?
Timber!
Is that with Kesha and Pitbull?
Oh my god. Probably not. Let me see what that is real quick here. Timber! Might need a clarification from
Mr.
chat on Timber. I believe it's a Joey suggestion. So, Donald Duck. Okay. Okay, yeah, it's from 1941. It is not on Disney Plus, so you are going to have to find it somewhere else.
Archives.
And Internet Archive is back up officially now, so very important. All right, so my short is going to be whatever's closest, which looks like it's going to be Car Wash something. Let me see here. Canvasback Duck.
Not even close to Car Wash.
No, it's so small that I can't even read it anymore. Alrighty. Shuffle it up here. And Kevin's final movie.
Final.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
This is
1941. Yeah. Did see that online. Kevin's movie. That's going to land on the short.
Really? Again?
Yep.
The chicken from outer space.
We'll leave it on there, and Kevin's going to respin.
Isn't that Chicken Little? Just a chicken from outer space. Oh no, that's the other way around. No. Hey.
Hey! Oh, I said I was going to do it! You're watching Paddington.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I mean, because you got to watch number 1 before you watch number 2. I'm just saying. Let's see where Paddington is currently streaming on. Because it deserves its own streaming network.
It's on Peacock. And Amazon and Paramount Plus.
Well, there you go. It's on everything, my good sir.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, it's good. Not as good as the second one, but hopefully it pushes you to watch the second one.
Okay.
But that is going to be it for the wheel spin this week. Thank you all for submitting those. Fox Pixar, if you have a submission, make sure that is done before we start spinning the wheel. So keep it in your pocket for next week. But alrighty. So that is going to be it for the live stream this week. So, of course, we do have our movie club episode that comes out next week, which is, or this week, sorry, Friday. So this Friday, we're going to be covering a movie that I've been wanting to cover for quite a long time, which is a Russian World War II movie called Come and See. Fun fact, it is currently ranked number 2 on Letterboxd's top 250 of all time. So this is going to be an interesting episode. Can't wait to have you all watch it, see what you think. Comes out on Friday at 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And of course, this live stream goes live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Unless something happens, we'll let you know. But of course, that's going to be it for the night. So I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the week. We'll see you all next Wednesday. And of course, as we say every time, until next time, keep those eyes on the screen. Have a good night, everyone.